Yep. Hello? Hello, hello. Oh, what's up, Dustin? We're just waiting a couple. Yo.
You doing, man? I see you doing big things out here.
I'm trying.
Yes, man. The healer himself.
Right. Yeah, man. I'm just trying to do. You know what I'm saying? What I know how to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's really crazy what I've learned and in the past like 2 years since I moved to LA, especially with healing wise. Learned a lot of things, man. Man.
I'm proud of you, man. You know, I think it's crazy when we really, really look back on time. And I don't remember how long was it been? 6 years since we've actually met now.
Has it been 6 years?
I think it's been 6 years now.
It may have been 6 years. Well, I don't know. I think it's more like 4. I don't know if it's been 6. I mean, I've been out here 2 years, and then a year, 2. No, you're right. It could have been 5, 6 years. You're right.
Yeah, man. You
God
know,
dang.
I was still a freshman back then. So, you know, I mean, you're out here, you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? You're giving out some good knowledge out here. I like, you know, we're trying to pick up on our healthy habits as well. You know, put more better things and holistic things in our bodies. My sister, she's really into holistic health. She's very big on it. She has her own. What's it called? What's that thing in her house? She had her own. What's that? What's that plant she had that was growing in that jar?
Some plant.
Yeah, it was something. I was like, what is that? And she was like, oh, this is
aloe vera.
Aloe vera too. But it was something else. But yeah, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's the drinks we get from the kombucha. Her own personally homemade kombucha.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's fine.
So, yeah. Can you tell me? Do you have information on the health benefits of sea moss?
Sea moss, yes. Sea moss, Irish sea moss. Irish sea moss grows in on the east coast of the North America and Ireland, and on the west coast of Africa. I'm sorry, Africa. Well, I said Africa. What the fuck is that? So in Africa. So Irish sea moss doesn't actually have. How do I explain this? Irish sea moss grows off of the coral reefs from those areas, and the coral reefs is what gives the sea moss the 92 out of 102 minerals. You know what I mean? And so when we digest the sea moss, that's when we get the minerals. Now you do have to be careful which ones you get, because there's a difference between wildcrafted sea moss and what's up, Wesley? There's a difference between wildcrafted sea moss. There's a difference from organic sea moss and pool grown sea moss. There's a difference. Okay, so for instance, a wildcrafted sea moss is the sea moss that grows the way it's supposed to grow. Like it's like you go out to the sea and you find it the way you're supposed to find it, right? The pool grown sea moss or the farmed sea moss is when they have like a pool and they simulate the waves of the ocean in that pool and grow the sea moss in there. The problem with that is that, one, they add salt in there, so it's not the salt that's supposed to be on there, and the way it's grown, it doesn't actually get the minerals in it because the minerals come from the coral reef. So when you eat the farm stuff, it can be detrimental to your body.
Wow. Okay. Oh, wow.
So you have to make sure that you're getting it the wild crafted one. Um, and it's actually not that hard to find. There's a dude, Vital Vegan Inc. That's his Instagram. I think that's also his website. Him and his team, they actually go to the Caribbean and actually like go diving for it themselves.
Oh wow.
So
So I have a question. Hey, this is Lindsay.
hey, Lindsay.
Hey, so I bought some sea moss pills on from Amazon. Would you suggest it's better to just actually get like the sea moss itself, or
Okay.
is the pill okay?
The pills are okay if they are made from a reputable source and if they are grinded up correctly. Now, I say that because I buy from some vendors like herbs and things, and when they make them into powders, it becomes processed because they have to make it in big chunks, and when they like grind it up, the metal that grinds it up sometimes gets into whatever they just grind it up. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
so you have to be careful on where you get it from. For me, I just making it into a gel in the house because it's a lot easier.
So you do it yourself?
Yeah. So you just buy the sea moss, the Irish sea moss the way it is, and then you soak it overnight or for 3 to 6 hours, however long you want to soak it. It kind of doesn't really matter, but soak it with lime and pink Himalayan sea salt to make it to amplify it a little bit, and then you put it in a blender, then you just blend it up with a little water, and then you put it in the fridge.
Oh. Okay. I just learned something new.
No, me
I
too.
could have saved some money.
No. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you, bro.
Of course, man. I'm always trying to do what I can do. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Hey, Wesley.
Do your thing.
Oh, yeah, bro. Hey, Wesley, are you there? I don't know. I don't know if he's there or not. I see him. I don't know. I don't hear. Oh, invite to speak. Let's try that again.
Hey, y'all, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
What's up, y'all? This is my first time up here, so I'm really excited.
Hell
and
yeah.
Thank you for having me. I just kind of jumped in right when you started talking about sea moss, and I have a really good, really close relationship with sea moss. My wife and I, that was like our go-to when we were going through pregnancy. I say we because, man, I was doing all kind of research and studying. And,
right.
These prenatal supplements, I mean, a lot of it's just marketing, you know what I'm saying? And so when I really started researching it, prenatal supplements didn't really become a thing until like the early 90s. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, wait a minute. What have our ancestors been using? What has, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What is the real way to heal and grow? And so, man, that thing right there, like nausea, energy, fatigue, it just got us through the whole 9-month pregnancy. And we still use it now. My baby girl, she's brilliant, you know what I'm saying? So I support sea moss completely. And it is so important to get the natural thing because as you guys are talking about it, I mean, there's so many people now jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah. And it's important to get the real deal. So, I just wanted to chime in on that. But I'm excited to be in here today.
Oh, yeah, but I appreciate it, man. For real. I really want to hear your thoughts on Reiki healing and things because I'm not as well versed in that. I'm more nutrition, food stuff.
Absolutely, and that's actually how I started. My background, I started off as a wellness coach. So I did wellness coaching for 10 years, and it wasn't until I was introduced to the power of Reiki and the power of energy, I really decided to add that into just my way of living. But one of the things that I try to educate everyone on with Reiki is this is something we've all done before. Everyone in this chat has done Reiki before. And I know you're probably thinking, Wes, what do you mean? But think about a time when you were young and you had a stomach ache and you placed your hands over your stomach and then your stomach ache went away. Mm-hmm. Or a time where you had a headache and you just placed your hands over your head and then your headache went away. Well, that's Reiki. But when you start to learn how the energy flows and start to learn about the different energy channels and the chakras, you can really start to use this energy in your favor. So, it helps you fall asleep at night, and then it also helps wake you up in the morning. I mean, it's so simple yet powerful. And my goal is really just to show everyone who's interested in learning how they can take their own energy into their own hands. And what I mean by that is sometimes we wake up in the morning and, we just claim a bad day. Oh, I already know today's going to be some shit, right? And so with that, 'cause, you feel it intuitively. Okay, today's going to be a heavier day, so let me take a few minutes to just balance my energy. Let me take a few minutes to just protect my energy. And I'm telling you, no matter what you're going through, you can really get where you need to get to without feeling all the turbulence that you would feel, you know what I'm saying, when you just step out into all the things that's going on around us. So that's it. Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. But I own the Salt Lounge in downtown Long Beach here in California, and that's what our space is dedicated to, the mind, body, and spirit. We offer Himalayan salt therapy, so we have a Himalayan salt room, 550 pounds of Himalayan salt, and you can go in there and just physically relax. It also has tons of physical benefits. And then we do workshops such as meditations, and then we also offer Reiki healing as well. So we really want to make it accessible to our people. You know what I'm saying? When you come in there, we're playing all kind of things from Ari Lennox to Sade to Maxwell. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe. And, I just really want people to realize how connected they are to their own energy. I just want people to realize how they can, really control their energy when they just take a little bit of time to just dive deeper into it. So
that's real, bro. I appreciate that. So you said that you had your practice in Long Beach, California?
Yeah, we're here in downtown Long Beach.
I didn't know that.
California?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I didn't know that.
Yeah, come check us out. I'll treat you to a salt room session.
Yeah, man.
We open up again. We've been shut down because of COVID, but we reopened February 16th. So I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of us been experiencing this pandemic differently. You know what I'm saying? But for me, this has really been a recharge period. Just being home with my family. It actually turned into like a maternity leave because like the day after my daughter was born, the pandemic started. So I got a chance to really bond with my family and just pour into them and myself. And now we're ready to get back in the streets. So come check us out. Check us out.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna come through with my queen because we're really big on all that, And I'm definitely gonna take the class.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. By the way, Wesley's having a Reiki healing class for Black men. So Destin, we're trying to get in that, Joe.
Come through, and that's the thing. When I learned Reiki, I'm telling y'all. You guys know, like nobody in the class looked like us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was a little uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It really was, but it changed my life. It really did. And before, I always been into health and wellness, and it started because I lost my dad to cancer when I was a teenager, and I realized, you know what I'm saying, with your health, anything is possible, but without your health, nothing is possible. So that's what sparked it. You know what I'm saying? Because before I was eating McDonald's and shit, I didn't care. But once I lost my dad, I said, yo, I got to do something about this. And then so the journey just continued, man. But once I got got introduced to Reiki, it changed the game for me. I use Reiki on my business. I use Reiki on myself. Even before I go into meetings, you know what I'm saying? It just keeps me in a centered space. And it's not as difficult as, some may think. I get a lot of people that's like, man, I'm not intuitive. But we all are intuitive. It's just finding how you tap into your intuition. And what I mean by that is some of us feel things. And then some of us have dreams. And then some of us even hear things. Or you know what I'm saying? It's just all about how you tap into your intuition. Because there's about 7 different ways to tap into it, which is another convo. But once you find out your avenue, then it's about sharpening that sword. So if you guys are interested, Reiki Level 1 training for Black men is going down February 21st. It is a course where you will be certified as a Reiki Level 1 practitioner afterwards. So you go through the whole process, And for me, it's just an honor to be able to teach guys that look like me. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like, that's the joy. Man, you know what I mean? Because it's important. And I feel like now's a good time. So
hell yeah.
I'm glad you guys are interested.
But yeah, man, piggybacking off of what you said about it's important for black men to be healers. You know, it's really important for us as men to know how to heal. And you know, a lot of well, I won't say a lot of. When I was growing up, that the society made it seem like that was a feminine thing to do. You know what I mean? But that's not the case. No, it's important for men to know how to heal too. Like for example, if you were to go to war and it was only dudes, well, who would know how to heal?
Right. Seriously.
That by itself is important. Like for real. Yeah, man.
No, it really is, and that's the thing. It's like, you know, I feel like, and I get a lot of backlash from this, but I feel like naturally women are more intuitive than us.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, it's one of those things. So naturally, they gravitate towards oracle cards, tarot cards, Reiki, but men are just as capable. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We are just as capable. But it's one of those things when you can infuse that, you can take your energy up a notch. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you can create differently. You can see the problems differently. You can understand people differently. So, you know, it's a thing that, you know, I get a lot of, I teach it, we teach a lot of Reiki courses throughout the year. The majority of the class are female students, but when we have a guy jump in the class, they're on it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they pick up just as fast. So, you know, it's definitely not a one-sided thing.
Hell yeah. I wanted to piggyback off of what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go into a topic real fast to see what we kind of know, and anybody can chime in. This is not just, you know, me and Wesley talking. What is melanin and what is like the proper nutrition for melanin? You know what I mean? And I'm just going to give a brief, I guess, overview of my studies, because I've been researching melanin from Dr. Layla Africa and, you know, Dr. Sabri and all the pioneers of health for the African diaspora. I've been researching it because it's so important. You know what I mean? And I was researching it not necessarily because of to help others. I'm not saying I'm not helping others, but that's not why I started. I started so I can heal my own asthma, you know, and my own asthma was really bad. I was taking 10 to 20 puffs 1 to 2 times a day, every day. and my inhaler only has, I'm sorry, the inhaler, not mine, because it's not mine. The inhaler only has 200 puffs in it. So 200 puffs, 20 or 40 times a day, I would go through that in like 2 weeks. You're only supposed to take 1 to 2 puffs every 4 hours. I was taking it like every hour. That's so bad. That's like so bad, bro. And then, you know, I started reading, you know, about melanin and whatnot, and learning that, you know, melanin absorbs the full spectrum of light. So like X-rays, you know, radio rays, you know, things of that nature. And that means that melanin is not just a pigment, you know, to make our skin darker. It actually like has the capability of healing us or harming us depending, you know, what we consume. So, you know, if you are listening to different music, you know, and the music tones correspond to a specific chakra point because, you know, each note does correspond to a different color and a different chakra point. So if you're listening to that music and it's corresponding to that chakra point, but the words are negative and, you know, scope, then you're going to be affecting that specific chakra point. You know what I'm saying? Not only that specific chakra point, but just your body in general. But that chakra point, you follow me? And it's really important that we consume things that are beneficial to our melanin. You know, that means sunlight, the sound, food, when we speak, everything, because it literally absorbs everything. Like light, sound, music, speech, everything is a frequency, which means it's a light. It's a form of light. Everything has a frequency, so it's a form of light. So you really had to pay attention to what, you know what I'm saying, you really consume. You know what I mean? And oh yeah.
And that's the truth, man. Not even to cut you off, but it affects the subconscious more so than anything. And you know, it's one of those things. I wish more of us was aware of it, because, you know, our culture, man, our music, it spreads throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like, yo, if we can rap and feed one another, right? Instead of rapping and saying like, I'm better than you, or I'll take your girl, or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, man, we can build just off of that alone. I don't know if it's corny, or I don't know, but yo, you hit it right on the head. And sound waves, man, like sound healing is such a powerful thing. You know what I mean? Just breathing while listening to those beats. Like, you don't even realize how much that's affecting you. Right. There's a study you guys should look into. Dr. Emoto, he wrote a book called The Secret Life of Water. I don't know if anyone's checked that book out, but
absolutely.
Yeah. And so one of the things he did during this study was he took 2 Petri dishes and filled both of those Petri dishes up with water. And what he did in one room was, he had heavy metal playing while that water froze. And then in the other room, he had classical jazz music playing while that water froze. Check this out, y'all. After the water froze, he actually took a microscope and zoomed in, and the snowflakes on the Petri dish that was playing the heavy metal froze into distorted, dark gray, disformed snowflakes. Same project. I'm telling you, same temperature. He took that same microscope and then zoomed in on the snowflakes that froze while he was playing classical music. And these snowflakes froze into beautiful rainbows and perfect snowflake, like perfect, you know, the snowflakes you see in cartoons. Like, I can't think of a cartoon, but that shit, you know what I'm saying?
It was sacred geometry.
Exactly.
Right,
sacred geometry.
Right. So to take that study further, as you all know, our body is composed of what? 80% water. So our body is doing the same exact thing that these Petri dishes were doing in the study, except we just feel it differently. Right. So you guys know, like, you know, the DJ plays Knuck If You Buck, right? All of a sudden, everybody in the party's throwing elbows, you know what I'm saying? and it gets wild.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
On the flip side, if they're playing Boot Up, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in there slow grinding and got the googly eyes, you know what I mean? And so it's just crazy how connected we are to music. So I agree with what you're saying, man. We need to take it serious, in my opinion.
And even to expand on the water concept, we also got to pay attention. Anything that you see outside of yourself is still a reflection of who you are.
Right.
So if we're seeing this energy manifesting in a petri dish just by the energy or the frequency that's being promoted to it, we're doing the same thing. We're capable of the same thing. So that gets into consciousness being able to shift the energy in your body, consciousness being able to heal the body. I believe strongly in making sure people are paying attention to their thought process. It's still about the placebo effect. If I give you this herb and say this herb is going to do this, it's not to say that that herb is not powerful. It's to say, is your belief in the herb powerful? Is your belief in what you're trying to do and what you're striving to accomplish as powerful as the herb has the capability to do? Because if your mindset is not in the space of healing, if you're still believing that you have a sick mindset or that you are not going to be able to heal, I can give you all the sea moss in the world and it's not going to do nothing. I can give you all the, you know, major super herbs in the world and it's not going to do what your mind can do. So that water theory is an amazing one, and I always tell my students that make sure they have a glass of water when we get ready to start class, because that water is absorbing the energy and the frequency of what you're speaking, and now it's going to help you retain that information because you're drinking the water that we're speaking life into. Exactly. So it's the same concept. It's like understanding that everything is energy, and the frequency that we operate on is so powerful. And if we can really get people to know themselves and know who they are on a frequency, on an energy level, it changes the game.
Mm-hmm. And to piggyback off of what you're saying, I feel like that starts with nutrition in general. And the reason why I say that is because if you're eating all of the, the processed foods and the chips and the tortured meat, unfortunately, and all the other things, that has an effect on your melanin, which has an effect on your pineal gland, which has an effect on your life, and you won't be able to think clearly. You know what I mean? And I feel like one of the reasons why melanated beings in the poor communities in America, well, in the world really, but in America, so I'm talking about America right now. I think the reason why it's harder for them to reach the point of knowing that they are a God man and God woman is because the food is just poison, literally everywhere. It's just hard for them to find the strength to want to do better because the food is so bad that they can't really, give their body the proper nutrition. You following?
Right.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's
and
my
the conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate because it's like the quality of food sucks in America, but also the conditioning that we've been raised in.
Yeah.
The combination of those two, of you being in an environment that has not produced greatness mm-hmm. sometimes, in those type of situations, is going to also aid in you, being dysfunctional health-wise, or aid in you being dysfunctional in just your basic lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that food being a real key as far as the starting of it all. That way you can get all of the clarity and the information or the insight that you need.
Exactly. That's how I feel too.
And I think for a lot of us, because it's overwhelming for so many of us, when they start thinking about how, their diet is so bad, and they look and they see like, this is how my mom eats, this is how my grandma eats. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than you and I. We're talking changes that have been set for the past 5, 6, 7 generations. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think for me, my eyes opened when I left. My wife and I, we just to give you guys kind of some background, we had corporate jobs, and we were both pretty much fed up. And so what we did was we sold everything and moved to Bali. We didn't think we were ever coming back to the States. Mm-hmm. We were like, fuck it. Like, it's too much. I had everything you could ask for externally, but I felt so empty internally. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was making the dream income that I always wanted to make. Mm-hmm. My wife had the position that she always wanted to have, like vision board shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And neither one of us were finding that inner peace. And so I had this saying, you know what I'm saying? At one point, all I could afford was the $1 menu at McDonald's. Well, fast forward, all I had time for was the $1 menu at McDonald's. Yeah. So it was like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still eating this damn McDonald's. Like, what is this about, But anyway, long story short, when I left the country, we were gone for a year. When we went to Bali, the food, man, it changed everything for me. And I started in Bali, then we kind of explored and went throughout Asia. But I remember coming back to the States, and there were certain things that it took me months to start eating again. The first thing was ketchup. Mm-hmm. When I got back in the States, y'all, I don't know what it was, but ketchup tastes so sweet. Like, it was like candy compared to the ketchup overseas. And you don't notice this because you eat ketchup and fries every day. It's no big deal. But it was like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then there was a couple other things. But the food, y'all, it's yeah, we have bad habits as a culture, but it's also, you know what I'm saying, what they're feeding us. I mean, there's a lot of different stipulations that's tied into it. And, I always tell people it's not about cutting back necessarily off the break, but what can you start adding to your diet? Because I think when you start adding to your diet, intuitively, you no longer want to reach for, I don't know. You have to give me an example, but you know what I'm saying? You no longer want to reach for those Doritos or, you know what I'm saying, those Twinkies. And then you slowly aren't interested in that shit anymore. You're not getting it at the grocery store anymore. But it starts by, you know what, let me just add a little sea moss, see what happens. Let me just tap in with some of this ashwagandha, see what happens. Let me get some of this black seed and see what happens. And you start feeling that shit. And from that, you know what I'm saying, you can start cutting back. But I think it's tough for a lot of us when we say, yo, man, you can't be eating XYZ anymore. What do you mean? Like, this is what my family been eating for generations. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, try this, add this to your diet, and just see how you feel. And that's kind of like a natural way to really start helping one another get off of these, you know, habits. Because it's tough. I know all of us know, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you go through mood swings if you don't have, you know, your bowl of cereal or whatever the hell it is. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah. I definitely feel that, like, so right now I'm currently doing this raw diet or mostly raw diet. I'll say I do like 95% raw food. So like I'll just make a big apple salad and just eat that. Right. So, and you know, whenever I will go back to eating like a piece of bread, which sounds really small, but bread has a lot of sugar in it. Everything has sugar in it. It's freaking crazy. But anyway, whenever I go back to that, and then I try to stop again, it's really hard to stop. Like it's so difficult because sugar is a drug, you know what I mean? And everything has sugar. And not only does everything have sugar, they don't even have to put specific types of sugar on the ingredient list because it's not sugar, if that makes sense. And which makes it crazy. And the reason why I know that that's true is because I bought these chips one time, and I was eating them. And then I was about to eat one of them, and then I looked at it, and it looked like there was like a line of glue on it. And I was like, "What is this? This is definitely not on the ingredient list." I was like, "What is this on these chips?" Like, and I was like, "Dang, man, is this?" They feed you whatever, you know what I mean, and not only feed you food wise, but the lotion and things are also really addictive. And the reason why I know that is because my queen makes shea butter, right? Like the only ingredients are shea butter, essential oil, and black seed oil, and maybe some coconut oil, and that's it. Like there's no chemicals, nothing in it, and it's great for your skin. I mean, like it's ridiculously good for your skin, but people don't come back and buy that, even though it does such a good job on their skin. Because they always tell me how good of a job it does, and it's better than what they use, but they continually go back to what they use because those things are addictive.
And they're conditioned.
And it's conditioning. It's just crazy, man.
Like, well, I'm gonna stop using Dove soap when.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I remember making a post on my page about Dove soap, and I swear it was like anarchy. It seemed like I had really killed their best friend. And I was like, are y'all really going in my comments because I make a post about Dove soap? Just trying to keep you aware of what you're putting on your body.
Right.
You guys want to know something I did during this pandemic? So I did a little experiment with myself. I wanted to not have to use deodorant. And I went through so many different diets, y'all. Vegan, raw vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian. Right now, my diet is plant-based. So I really just opt for a majority plant-based diet. But you know what I'm saying? I was not able to get rid of body odor. I'll be honest. I got rid of it under one armpit. My right arm, it was weird. My right armpit was cool. This left one, y'all, would not get right. So, and I said, you know what, I'm going to figure this out. You know, I don't got to go nowhere. I'm just in the house. I ain't going to wear deodorant because I can figure this out. So, I'm musty as hell, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But it's just us in the house. And, you know, I still shower. But after a while, you know how it is. Yeah. But, so for the longest, I've been using natural deodorant. Himalayan salt blocks, you know what I'm saying? All that. But I just didn't want to have to depend on it. I felt like I shouldn't need to wear deodorant.
Right.
So, long story short, you guys want to know what it was that got rid of the body odor for me? It wasn't drinking more water. It wasn't just going all plant-based. Believe it or not, using lemon as deodorant. Mm-hmm. And I'm new to this, you know what I'm saying? But lemon was the secret for me. Now I just put lemon on once a week. And I work out every day. It's like I get sweaty, you know what I'm saying? But I put lemon on, I think it started every 3 days I had to do lemon. Now it's like once a week. I just, little lemon, boom, boom, and I'm good. But again, it goes back to what you're saying. You know, we're so used to these products. You know what I mean? I can't live without my Dove. I can't live without my Gillette. You know what I mean? And it's the ads, it's the commercials. But like these natural things, which has been here for hundreds of years, that's all we need. Yeah. Now, they're not going to tell you get a 25-cent lemon. You know what I mean? You gotta buy this $13 deodorant, man. Right. Like, come on.
You can't make no money off of them lemons.
Exactly. It's all business.
Can't make the same profit.
It's crazy.
Yeah. To piggyback off of what you were saying, I was doing something similar in the house, and I was it wasn't deodorant necessarily. It was soap, like soap in the shower. Like I was trying to make my own soap, and I was like, I don't want to use the soap that we keep buying in Whole Foods. I know this isn't good for me, and so I was just experimenting with stuff, and I just like mix some lime, some pink Himalayan sea salt, and some Irish sea moss, and I just put that together with some water, and surprisingly that works. I don't really know exactly why. I think. Well, no, I have an idea. the lime is antibacterial, and the pink Himalayan sea salt is exfoliating, and I would see my sets of minerals. But it's just crazy that you can do that, and it's way easier. It's better for you, you become just a better person by doing those things,
Mm-hmm. And it's one of and speaking of a better person, one of the things that we teach in our Reiki class is we talk a lot about diet, because the things that you consume they affect your intuition like that. You know what I'm saying? But one of the biggest heavy hitters that I try to educate our students on is fluoride. Yeah. Fluoride toothpaste, you know what I'm saying? You guys know, like it calcifies your pineal gland. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing we don't need. So, I do baking soda when I brush my teeth. But, between fluoride toothpaste and then aluminum, well, what carries aluminum? Deodorant. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You put that deodorant under your arm, that's right next to your heart, right next to your lungs. There's so many vital organs that connect right to those pores. And that's another one that really shuts that intuitive gift down. So it's like so many of us, we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot before we even try to grow spiritually. And it's just by simply adjusting these daily products. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You will just feel like within 7 days, man, your body starts eliminating that stuff. And within like 2 weeks to 3 weeks, you're really able to just start tapping in deeper. But that's what it starts with. You know what I'm saying? Cutting out the bad and just adding in the good. It's so simple. It's so simple.
And a key component, one of the things that I've been teaching them more so the last year is knowing who you are from, like, what was your role? What is your story? How's your energy supposed to move? Using human design, like really understanding what's your determination in your human design. That way you can actually understand that your specific energy type actually is supposed to eat a certain way. I'm real hard on a lot of people right now because I'm like, we're kind of teaching from this one size heal all perspective. And I'm like, we all have an individual blueprint. We all have an individual makeup. And if you don't know your individual blueprint, you're going to be doing some things that are still wrong for you. Right. You're going to be going down that little yellow brick road thinking that you're doing what's right. And it might not necessarily be what's right for you. So kind of playing around and understanding, like, we've been doing it with our family here. I have 6 altogether as far as children. And me and my maid have, like, kind of worked around on, okay, we know that this child has a certain determination as far as how they're supposed to eat, what type of environment they're supposed to eat in, what type of foods, like paying attention to simple things like you might have that child who eats consecutive And that means that they're supposed to eat all of one thing before they go to the next thing on their plate.
Mm-hmm.
What was crazy when we started paying attention to these dynamics, our children was doing this automatically. It was by nature. And a lot of times, if we really start to go back to our childhood, the way that we're supposed to eat typically was coming up by nature. We naturally knew, oh, I need more liquids. We naturally knew when you have that child that don't want to eat a certain thing, they naturally know that that's not for their body.
Right.
As much as you're trying to force it on them, like, no, you need to eat all your greens. Maybe that child already instinctively know, that ain't getting ready to sit well with my system,
right,
because I'm supposed to eat a certain way. We tend to nurture, which is condition, our children
mm-hmm.
or society to eat a certain way because we think that we know best. But idealistically, realistically, we're supposed to be really getting into the information of, wait, what is your specific design? What is your blueprint? Once I know that your blueprint is a certain way and you're supposed to eat a certain way,
mm-hmm.
it literally is going to optimize who you are in your God self.
Right. No, that's real, man.
Yeah, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel with that. I like that a lot.
And then most people, like, they're either operating from, I call it the caveman diet, and it's just because it's like, they look at it as one of the first ways of eating. Their way of eating is going to be way more simple, where, like, my mate, his way of eating, he can eat pretty much anything he want to eat during the daytime, but he's not supposed to eat after when the sun sets.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't supposed to put nothing in his system after the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Where my style is completely different than all the people in my house. I'm the only one that I have to eat whatever is in season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not supposed to eat a whole bunch of stuff. I'm only supposed to eat the fruits and vegetables that's in season.
Mm-hmm.
So it works, and it helps you connect to what you, like what Wesley was saying, what you naturally are gifted in, the things that you naturally are intuitive with. They start to show up a lot quicker, because now we're actually operating in our design and in our blueprint compared to us just being out here haphazardly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off what you said. You were saying that your mate was he can't eat after a certain time,
mm-hmm.
you know, and I found that true with me as well. I'm not able to eat after 8 and my digestive system be okay. Like I have to, like, strictly follow the circadian rhythm. I have to, like, really follow that to a T. It's really crazy. Like, I can't eat until like 11 a.m., 12, and then I have to stop eating at 8. And then if I don't, the asthma that you know my body feels will start to come up. It's really it's so crazy. So yeah, I completely agree with that, man. It's you have to learn how to pay attention to yourself.
That part.
You know what I mean?
And the thing about food is it's such a social dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at history, a lot of us, even emperors, they would bond through a meal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, your army and my army would come to a truce if, you know, we decided to eat together. And so it's just ingrained in us. You know, we sit at the table and we socialize, and that's just how we connect. But if you can take it a step further and know, you know, how to be able to connect with the people around you, but still eat what you need to eat, so you don't, you know, go into the deep end, it makes it that much better. And these are the things that should be taught in school, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Why they don't do it, I don't know. But these are the things, like, man, my dad, he passed away from cancer. And that's what showed me, passed away from colon cancer. And that's when I said, wait a minute, colon. And then I started realizing all health issues within the body result from a colon that is off balance. And so it's like, yo, you keep your colon strong, that's going to give you the foundation to everything else. I wish I didn't have to see my dad pass away to learn that, but now I know it, and now I can pass that on to the next, you know what I'm saying, generation in my family, and so on and so on. And we don't talk about these things. It's necessary, though.
I have a question that I want to ask everybody. Do you think that it is possible to not become sick in this day and age, or do you think being sick at some point is something that's just going to happen?
I guess it depends on how you define sick. Right? Because sometimes, you know what I mean, I might be feeling a little more tired, or, you know, my nose might be running, and I feel I can feel when my body's eliminating something. You know what I mean? And so for one person, like, oh, I got the sniffles, I'm sick. Whereas for me, I'm like, oh, okay, my body's pushing something out right now. Right. Let me let it rest, you know? Yeah. So it really just depends on how you define it.
So let's say, like, as in, like, diseases, like heart problems, or, you know, bladder problems, things of that nature. Do you think it's possible to avoid those things?
I do. I do. I feel like if you can keep your body over a certain pH level, you can't create those things within your system. Well, I'm not saying you can't create those things, but those type of ailments don't have the ingredients they need to start hampering on your nervous system. I was reading a book. I don't remember which book it was, and don't quote me, y'all, but in the book they were saying, I forgot the exact number of your pH, but if your body is over a certain pH level, you can't produce gray hair. Well, we have gray hair. I mean, we all experience it. But yeah, if you can keep your body over a certain pH level, your body won't start generating gray hair. Right. So I think, you know, when we look at something as simple as that, you see a lot of older people who look great. Like they're 80 years old, but you would never think they're over 45. You know what I mean? Right. I think that's when those are the individuals that really learned their body. But all the experiences, what I've came across that we experience physically, they are the end result of something energetically. So looking at it from an energetic standpoint, it's like, you know what? This knee pain you might be experiencing, well, that could be your body telling you, yo, you need to start putting yourself first. Right. You know what I mean? But we think, oh, I got motherfucking arthritis. You know what I mean? And now we're taking all these pills and we still not putting ourselves first. We might be experiencing shoulder pain. You know what? You might need to forgive your mom. You might need to forgive your dad for what he did to you when you were a child. And we still hold on to that in our energetic field. And so when we experience a lot of these pains, a lot of them are physical results of something that's happening energetically. And that's another thing that, you know, I've learned through Reiki. I've seen a lot of individuals come in, and I use myself as an example. I've experienced a lot of different pains in my chest, in my arms, everywhere. And it all came back to me dealing with something that I had to release. I had to heal. I had to shed. And I think that's what's cool about life, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we weren't brought here to experience a perfect life. We were brought here to learn and grow and evolve. You know what I'm saying? So when we do experience these things, dis-ease, right? You break it in half, dis-ease, the body's not at ease. So when we do experience these things, it's only to bring us back to the whole. It's only to teach us something, to help us grow. Right. And that's, you know, and that's my opinion on it. But yeah.
And I agree completely. Like, I was going to say the same thing. Like, yeah, diet is key, of course. But if you have not healed emotionally, if you are not consistently operating in a lifestyle that is going to help you release things as they start to enter the, you know, energetic realms before it hits the physical realm, that's when disease starts to show up. That's when, you know, you see the body starting to break down. There's a lot of things that we tend to, as Wesley say, hold on to, whether it's from childhood, whether it's from old relationships, things that we felt was done wrong to us. And then we're wondering why we're sitting here with the shoulder pain, or you're sitting there with, let's go even deeper. You got a lot of women that's experiencing fibroids and cysts and having to get, hysterectomies. A lot of that is connected to, number one, generational trauma, but also whatever they've experienced within their life that they haven't healed.
There's a study that they did, and they studied the people in the world who lived the longest. They went across the entire globe and really took a breakdown of who was living the longest and where. And y'all, we fell at the bottom of the damn totem pole. I wasn't shocked, though. I was mad about it, but I wasn't shocked. But the individuals who were living the longest were the ones in the Caribbeans, the ones in South America. There was even people in, like, Northern Europe, certain places. But they all had the same common trend. It wasn't that they were strict vegan, or it wasn't that they exercised rigorously every day. But the common trend with all the people that lived over 100, and it was big groups at a time, was they all had a very strong social life. They all had a very close connection to youth, meaning if you were a grandfather or great-grandfather, you had a close relationship with your grandkids and so on. But it really showed how simple life is. I think it is important to eat clean, eat healthy, stay balanced, but it's important to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're eating a pound of kale every single day, but you're still on the couch watching Fox News, pissed the hell off, arguing and shit,
mad at the world.
Exactly. The kale won't mean nothing. You know what I mean? But they took the same people. Some of these people, even in Cuba, because I had a high rate of people living over 100, they drunk rum every single day. But they laughed. They laughed their ass off with friends and family and played cards every single day. And so it's really about, again, going back to what we're putting into our energetic field. You know what I'm saying? Going back to our previous convo. So it's really more than just a diet. I think it's a whole lifestyle that a lot of us need to really hone in on, because when we walk down the street, we don't even acknowledge one another. You know
that's so bad.
Somebody says, "What's up, bro?" You might think he got a problem with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And I think that's where it begins. Like, we got to start acknowledging one another. If we can, I try to push myself to have a convo with a stranger every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Just in the grocery aisle. Because that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Those endorphins, that's what we need to keep ourselves running smoothly long-term wise.
Right. But I'm just going to piggyback off what you just said about walking down the street, man. So I'm in like LA, the LA area, but, well, let me rephrase that. I'm in the entertainment industry kind of, because I'm a dancer. So I'm not necessarily in the industry, like the actual industry, but I'm around it. You know what I mean? And I'll be walking into these studios and around these people, and I'll be wanting to say hi, but they be looking at you like, who are you? You ain't nobody. And I'm like, I just want to say hi. It's so bad, bro. It's so bad. Man, it's crazy, man.
I don't know how this started, who started. I don't know where, but man, I just encourage you, just say hi. Look weird as you need to look. You know what I mean? Just get off your chest, man. Hey, what's up, man? You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
It feels weird for a little bit, but hey, people start noticing you're the guy that always talks to strangers, and they just start accepting it. You know what I'm saying?
I have one more topic that I want to discuss, and then if you guys want to add any more, you can, do what you want to do. I want to talk about how important the sun is for us. How important is that to you guys? Like, what can the sun do for us? Of course, it gives us vitamin D, but like, what does that really entail in you guys' minds?
Let me go first. I'm more than happy to share. We were talking about energetic makeup, man. Based off of my DNA, the sun's required. Like, my wife knows if I don't go outside after, a certain amount of time, I just start feeling off. And I think my daughter's the same way, because she's going through teething right now. But the moment we step out on the patio, tears stop. You know what I'm saying? That sun get to shining on her. She's all smiles.
Right.
It's a part of my life. Like, sun and water for me. that's my combo. Like, I have to be near the ocean, and I have to get some sun. If I don't, I just start to feel off. But I can be in the sun all day long, and I just be feeling recharged at the end. And, yeah, I can't really picture myself not having sun, but I know what it's like, and I know how I feel when I don't get enough of it. And it's one of those things where, you know what, I just got to stick to it. But my wife, on the other hand, she can get a little bit of sun, and she's good for 2-3 days. Mm-hmm. Me, I got to get back out the next morning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Go running or some shit. I just got to get out in that sun. Mm-hmm. And it keeps me grounded, keeps my head clear. Yeah, it just keeps me balanced.
Yeah. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I think even with the sun, like he was saying, that's a natural healer. It's funny that you said sun and water, because it's always, those are the two natural healers. We are like directly connected, especially as melanated beings. We directly connected to those frequencies. So, like he said, that's a necessity. I think I go into hibernation in the wintertime.
Yeah. During the wintertime, I don't feel good necessarily. I'm not saying I feel bad, but it's just not right. Especially when it's rainy and there's no sun out, it doesn't feel right. And one thing I've learned about the sun is that, like I said earlier, melanin absorbs the full spectrum of light. So like every light source, and the sun is a radio wave, so it's technically a sound wave. So technically, it's giving us information. You know what I mean? And that's something that is very important for us to realize, not just for vitamin D, but the fact that it's giving us some sort of information, right? And it is my personal opinion. I haven't done research on this, but I'm just, going based off of my own, thoughts and whatnot. That is giving us information on the planetary, the cosmic, forces that are occurring in the space, right? For instance, when the Great Conjunction happened, Jupiter and Saturn, were like 0.1 something miles away, so something like that. The closest that they've ever been in like 20 years and whatnot. Being in the sun, in my opinion, is what helps us as melanated beings to feel that shift in energy. You know what I mean? I feel like if we didn't have that, we wouldn't be able to feel it the way we did. It wouldn't be such a big deal, if that makes sense. But yeah.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, just studying, civilizations before ours, like the Egyptians, man, they would really take time and just, worship the sun gods, Ra, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's hence why we're so connected to gold. A lot of us, you go back into that Egyptian time frame, they viewed gold as the flesh of Ra. So if you were wearing a gold chain or if you had gold teeth, you were worshiping the sun. You know what I'm saying? And so it's so much deeper. One of the things I try to do to really soak in as much sun as I can, and this is an exercise you guys could try as well, is, next time you're by, you're just outdoors, whether you're in the mountains or by the ocean or just, in the backyard, but just closing your eyes and just staring at the sun, but just visualizing your third eye, just connecting. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You'll feel that like on a DNA cellular level. You'll just start to feel recharged. Just breathing in, and slowly breathing out. But that's my way of connecting with the sun. You know what I'm saying? I just started doing this before the research, and then I started doing research, and I'm like, oh, wow. But again, intuitively, you know what I mean? Like if we just follow our intuitive instincts, so many of us were able to tap in and open up different parts of ourselves, just by surrendering to what feels good to us. I think they try to pump a lot of fear on the sun. Hey, don't be in the sun too long. I don't know. Pass out. I don't know what the hell they be saying. You'll get skin this, skin that. Look, man, I need it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't even entertain half of these discussions because I know it feels right for me.
Right. And, when it comes to the traumas that can come with the sun, I feel like that doesn't I feel like the reason why society puts that out there is because this is not a black person society. This is a society that's, was built for the Caucasian male, not even Caucasian woman, the Caucasian male. And when the sun gets hot, they can't be in the sun. You know what I mean? And uh, I can't remember where I heard this from. I've actually heard it like many, many, many times from multiple credible resources that the sun is getting, well, I don't. It's not getting hotter. The Earth is actually getting closer to the sun, so Caucasians are not reproducing as fast as they were before. So they're actually going extinct, which is very interesting. Yeah, it's actually very interesting. And this happens every so often, because like how we have the zodiac signs for our births. The orbits of the planets are also in zodiac signs, and then our universes are also in zodiac signs. And so the zodiac sign that we're going into, Aquarius, which is the age of awakening, is also when the sun reaches a solar minimum, and so it's just getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. So climate change is a thing, but it's not necessarily the reason they're describing it as. I mean, they're using it as a front to do other stuff. But anyway, that's beside the point. That has nothing to do with what we were just talking about. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Tomorrow Dawn, was that your name? Yes. Do you have any thoughts?
Yes, hi, my name is Tamara Don. Hi, you all.
Hey.
Thanks for allowing me on the panel.
Okay.
It's just like a refreshing conversation. I'm happy to be here. Just kind of like 6 years, I've been like really into like healthy eating and learning how to reverse symptoms of an illness. I suffer from multiple sclerosis, and I had a stroke in 2019. So these things really are near and dear to my heart. So I'm just glad to be here.
Yes. I'm glad that you're here. That's great that you're here. I'm trying to look. Hold on a second. Brain is monopolar. So multiple sclerosis is when the immune system attacks the protective sheath that covers nerve fibers and causes communication problems between the brain and the rest of your body.
Yes.
So it's an autoimmune disease.
Yes.
There are herbs that help with things like that. There's a book that I highly suggest everybody gets. It's expensive as a motherfucker, but I highly suggest everybody gets this book for to be able to know how to mix and match herbs and which herbs do what. It is called How to Be Your Own Herbal Pharmacist by Linda Rector Page. This book is literally like a godsend. Like it tells you. Okay, I wish I could show you. I can't even show you because there's no video. But for instance, like say they have a section for autoimmune diseases, and then it tells you what herbs do what for the body. Like for instance, if you need a herb to be a expectorant or demulcent or a nutrifying herb, it gives you those herbs, and then it tells you what quantities of those herbs to use in a specific mix, and then you just make teas out of that, or capsules, or tinctures out of that, and it just works. And the reason why I know it works is because I've done it on myself multiple times. I don't like to speak about anything unless I've already done it myself, because I don't, what I mean? That's just not cool. But I highly suggest everybody get that book. It's a lot of money, but it's really, I think it's important to know how to heal ourselves, at least, especially right now with this whole COVID thing going on.
So, what's the name of the book again?
How to Be Your Own Herbal Pharmacist by Linda, Linda Rector Page, Rector space Page. She's a PhD and ND. She's fire. She's one of the non-melanated beings who actually care about humanity, if that makes sense. Like, she's like the non-melanated form of Layla Africa, if that makes sense. She.
I was gonna say the same thing. Yes, she's dope.
Yeah, she's fire for real. Like,
So her name is Linda.
Linda Rector, Rector, and then Page, Page. You can get the book on Amazon. I got mine on Amazon. It's expensive, but I highly suggest everybody get that. Oh yeah, but yeah, that's all I really had to talk about today. If anybody else has more topics to discuss, I'm more than welcome. But those are all the topics I have for today.
I just want to thank you guys for having me today. This was a lot of fun. This was definitely needed. Just so you know, I'm teaching Reiki Level 1 training for Black men. So this class is designed just for Black men. So if you know anyone who's interested in learning Reiki, I'm a Reiki master. If you know anyone who's just been curious to learn, you can tell them check me out. My personal page on Instagram is @KingWizardEnergy. You can also check out my business page if you're ever in Los Angeles or if you're ever in Long Beach, you want to come to the Salt Lounge. You can check us out. We're at the Salt Lounge LB, and this is a wellness space designed for the mind, body, and spirit. So, again, thanks for having me. This was really cool. I'm glad to be able to tap in with you guys today.
I appreciate you for being here, for real. At the Salt Lounge.
Yes, at the Salt Lounge LB.
Oh, LB. Got it.
And we do different things. I mean, we're getting ready to reopen on the 16th, and normally we'll do intuitive challenges on our Instagram page, and we try to do fun things just to help everyone tap in. So even if you're not here on the West Coast, you can just tap in with us, have some fun with us on social media. You can attend one of our workshops. We do a lot of virtual workshops, my wife and I. Workshops all about tapping into your intuition, how to heal your chakras. If you want to learn more about that, you could check us out, Soul Work Academy. That's my wife and I's online virtual classes designed to help you grow mentally, physically, and energetically. So that's what we're here to do. We're just trying to help everyone as we continue to grow. So, again, thanks for creating this platform, man, and thanks for allowing me to tune in with you guys.
No, I appreciate you coming. Well,
Absolutely, same thing. I was just going to say thank you for having me. Wesley, I'm going to definitely be reaching out to you because me and my mate were actually thinking about doing a salt spa thing out here in the East Coast.
Okay.
So,
where you located?
I would love to get your insight. I'm in North Carolina, in Charlotte.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We'll talk.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, Dawn, if I do the cleanses. I have a cleanse regimen or cleanse regimens with the S at the end that show you how to take the proper steps to heal yourself in terms of herbalism, because I'm an herbalist. But I also focus on nutrition too. So if you need help with that, let me know. My website is aieholistichealth.com. aieholistichealth.com, and on that website, I'm gonna have videos and things to help instruct you.
Thank you so much. I just followed you on Instagram.
Oh, fire! Yep. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all for coming. If anybody, if no one has anything more to say, we can end the chat now, and then I'll let everybody know when I'm doing another one. And if you guys are doing another one, please let me know so I can hop on.
Sounds good, man. Thank you. Everyone have a great rest of the evening.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys. Be easy.